what is your opinions on the way, and Sammy, you had a great opinions on this, so why don't you two explain to us the opinions on how they handled Bobby Drake's coming out party?
No, I want Faust to go first on this.
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to express opinion before I hear what he has to say.
Okay, so as a
wait,
gay person,
real quick, because let me explain the situation so people know what you're about to rant about. So, recently in the all-new X-Men, which is a story about time-displaced X-Men from the past, they've been put into the current timeline, so we have our current X-Men and we have the original X-Men. So what they've recently done in the all-new X-Men is Jean Grey basically read Bobby Drake's mind and discovered he's gay. And then what they had was about 4 pages of her insisting he's gay and her telling her not, and then them trying to figure out how he's gay, but future Bobby Drake isn't gay, and what they're going to do and what they should do. But it was a whole thing where they basically, instead of having like any proper way or whatever, and I'm sure Faust will talk about all this stuff in a minute, they literally just said, hey, Bobby, you're gay. And he's like, what? And they're like, you're gay. And that's the whole thing. It just kept going. So that's what we're about to talk about. It made headlines on the comic rounds. Faust, what is your opinion on this?
okay, so for everyone that's... I don't even know where to start with this. So, okay, this is a bit of a beast. First off, I don't think it's a bad thing that Bobby's gay. For everyone that's saying, you can't just turn an iconic character gay, he's supposed to be straight. You've got a lot more straight characters to choose from. We're not stealing all of them, we're stealing one that lots of people don't even care about. So, at the end of the day, you've got a lot more straight characters to choose from. Secondly, anything can happen in comics. If you're okay with a girl that can turn sound into light, going to space, getting the power cosmic and diving into a black hole, you're okay with a character finding out that a character that's been around since the 60s has been closeted this whole time. And yes, he's dated girls, but that's how being in the closet works. Surprisingly, you date girls, try and make people think you're straight. That being said, the way it was done, I think it would have been a lot more powerful and a lot more relevant to the LGBT community if we had the actual Bobby Drake just coming out, develop his relationship with Kitty Pryde, and then sort of say, I can't do this anymore, I'm gay. That would have been a lot more powerful, a lot more relevant to how the LGBT community is perceived in this world, and actually be a lot more relevant to what people go through. Because by just having Jean Grey go, hey, been reading your mind recently, so you like the teen, do you? That was just a bit like... It was an anticlimax and a bit insulting, I guess. It just, like, coming out is a big deal, and it just made it seem like, hey, you can come out and be accepted by having your friend read your actions.
Yeah, I think that was the part that I disliked the most, was that it was more like he kept saying, like, stop, don't read my mind. Like, he said that so many times, and she still invaded his privacy. Like, that mostly was the part that upset me. I don't know why she kept doing that, but that kind of was bothering me. But
yeah, and I especially think, like, okay, it kind of shows the immaturity of this Jean, because, like, I know lots of closeted people. I, like, from sort of reading their actions and sort of saying, okay, yeah, when I was in the closet, that was me. But I don't out them, because that's a dickhead thing to do. And it just sort of shows the immaturity of this version of Jean, that I want to say, I love Jean now, but doing that, I'm sort of like, Jean...
Well, I mean, overall, I haven't liked this version of Jean at all, because ever since she showed up, she's been like, oh, I'm going to turn into a godlike, superpowered being. Now I have psionics. It's like, what?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the Jean Grey character, at least she's interesting now, but at the same time, like, I don't know if Bendis meant for Jean to look like a dick. And that's where I have the problem. Like, my issue is really, like, it betrays the lack of understanding of that situation for me. And I'm like, you know, maybe have him do it, or maybe have him get upset with her for having taken it from him. Like, I feel like that was really, like, not cool. And I'm like, and I would like to see that maybe... If Bendis is a genius, and he does actually decide to, like, carry that over, like, if Bobby is, like, really upset, and he's just like, there's too much to deal with, I'm not gonna, like, I'm not gonna scream at you right now. That is better. But if I'm hoping that the story isn't just like Bobby wasn't willing to do it. We know this because it's 2015 and he's still straight. So we have Gene do it, and now it's done. Now the damage is done. We're done. Like, move on. And I hope that's not the case. I hope it's more like complicated and interesting and dramatic. I don't know. I just feel like what Gene did was not okay, and I hope that they know that when they were writing it.
And like, not to be deep, but to be deep. I think like the way the media like shot up about it, because it wasn't just comic book websites, it was mainstream media that started talking about this. I think it shows just how little we've progressed since Ellen's coming out in the 90s. It was the same situation. It was everywhere. It was suddenly iconic character likes the D. And and it was ridiculous. Like every news outlet and every media outlet is now saying it's okay to be gay, it doesn't matter. But as soon as someone comes out, they're like, they're gay. Oh my god, is it the end of the world?
Well, it is.
Yeah.
I wanted to, what do you guys think? What if you think that this was like almost like a test bed platform where they were like, say if he's gay, see what the response is, and if it doesn't work out, Secret Wars will revert the whole thing and pretend this never happened.
They would piss off the LGBT community. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think
time.
they had such a good like opportunity to do something with it, and they didn't. They used it very poorly. If that was what they were doing, that was not a good way. I mean, that I feel like by saying like, oh, let's see if this is okay, see how the audience responds to it. I mean, that's kind of setting a bad precedence for how it is in real life. Like, do you come out as gay and then see how people feel about it, and then, oh no, I redact it because, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah. That would be. I've seen a lot of TV shows and stuff. I don't know that many gay individuals myself, but I've never heard of anyone going like, I'm super gay. Not really. You guys didn't accept me. It was all a joke.
You guys don't like that?
have you ever seen that actually happen, Faust, or is it like once they're out, they're out?
I mean, I think like people say like, oh, once you're out, you're out. Like in reality, I have to come out at least once a week because I meet new people. And like, this is the thing that comics just don't get. When you come out, that's not the only time you come out. Every time you meet someone new, you have to be like, are they a homophobic person? I'm just going to kind of dance around this for a couple of weeks. Right. And then just suddenly casually work in that I like dudes and see how they react. Oh, they reacted badly. Okay, bye forever. And
for the record, you didn't casually dance around anything with us. I don't know if you assumed that we knew already.
You watched my videos.
I know, but
I mean, no, there's no episode in which you say like, "Hey, everybody, I'm gay," but like, yeah,
exactly. Like,
if I watched any of my first 10 videos where I'm out of my mind drunk,
we don't go that far back. When we were looking at bringing you on, we watched a good chunk of them, and I think the actual question was, he may or may not be. Let's not approach it. And then just you got in one call and you're like, so as a gay man, I'm like, he's gay.
Wait, you don't go that far back about which Mojo does?
That's an argument all unto itself. Watch Mojo's like, we're going to go as far back as humanly possible to things he hasn't done in months.
I love how everyone's like, is Faust gay? Is Faust gay? It's like, do I speak another language? I'm pretty sure I just said I was gay like 10 times.
Yeah.
No, for the record, we are just to reaffirm what you're talking about right now. I would say we've gotten at least a third of the comments right now since we started talking about this of is Faust gay? Like, I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
So now you know
I feel like. Yeah. So the question really will become, moving on, is the question of like, what does this mean for current Bobby? And I think the idea here is, and I think Marvel has actually said out loud, like, no, he is too. Like, we'll deal with that. Like, we're getting there. Do you believe them?
See, I think... See, Marvel's much better with gay characters than they are compared to DC.
No, I agree.
Yeah, because DC's like, you can have one gay character at any given time, and they will have their own book, and when their book is cancelled, they will disappear for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, unless you can't... Well, wait. You had Batwoman. We're talking about Batwoman. And The Question.
But if they were the same book.
Right, but if you have more than one, not only do they have to share the same book, but they have to date, and they also can't get married.
Yeah, that sucked. Yeah.
I'm not even gay, but I'm still irritated with how they handled the whole Green Lantern's gay situation. He gets one page on the one thing that you totally felt like this was probably a woman in the original version, and then we're gonna forget all about it.
It totally mind bending if we made him gay, and it wasn't even it wasn't even a lantern that mattered. Not to say like there were certain, but you know,
If they turned around and just suddenly said, Hal Jordan's gay, then people would have been all up in arms about it, and it would have been fantastic. But since it was just a character that didn't matter, it's just a bit like...
They didn't even take the original Alan Scott. They're like, here's a new version you've never heard of who just shares his name.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, he's gay.
Yeah, and he is too. Yeah, lame. So yeah.
Okay.
At least gay people, we have our own version of Superman and Lois Lane in Billy and Teddy. Like, you can't break Billy and Teddy up, otherwise I will come for
That's
you.
North Star and the other guy, right? Or I got it wrong?
No, Billy and Teddy are the two characters from the Young Avengers.
Young Avengers, yeah.
Oh, see, I don't read that.
That's a really great relationship that I really dig, and I'm like, good for them. Like, good, like don't break them up. And also, like, I like that it's just a relationship. That it's not like, oh, this is our gay relationship, and we point to it whenever we want to talk about how progressive we are. It's just like, it's just a nice little, it's just a thing. Like, it's a consequence of these characters all like cohabitating, and that's cool. Like, I like that.
And they joke about it, like when Billy had to change his codename to Wiccan from Asgardian because they knew if the media found out about him and Teddy, they would joke about the whole Asgardian sounding like Asgardian.